What's up, dudes? My name is Nick. Welcome back for another video where I'm going to share my first impression-ish thoughts on the brand new song from CLC titled No. And of course, this was released like a week or so ago at the end of January, so I'm probably like 8, 9, maybe 10 days late as far as like when this was released. But since the beginning of the year, it just feels like all I've been doing in my real life outside of YouTube is working and then sleeping when I'm not at work. And, you know, that's just the way it is. I think I've worked 90% of the days that have, you know, happened so far in the year. So that's kind of why nothing's been happening on the channel thus far. But we're trying to kind of get back into the swing of things for the month of February, or at least first after a week of February is gone. So that's where we are. And so for those of you that cared about that, that's that. And for those of you that didn't, we're going to just, of course, get into this song and give you my thoughts. And I encourage you guys to share your thoughts on this song too, whether you like it or not, because that's what we're trying to do here. And if you want to join the community, then subscribe to the channel just to kind of keep up to date with everything that we're talking about. So with all that being said, let's get this song started.
Red lip, no. Earrings, no. High heel, no. Held back, no. Red lip, no. Earrings, no. High heel, no. Held back, no.
Some of just a little bit of this, for just maybe a little teeny tiny bit, is kind of reminded me of the song that like Boa released at the end of the year titled Woman, which, by the way, I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs from last year. So I like the vibe of this song so far. This is a very, as far as like, I don't even, dude, it's like CLC's done so many different things over the last 2 years. I don't even know what's going on with this group anymore, but that's fine. Not having a consistent sound and look is, I don't even know. Cool, I guess. I don't hate it. I really like, I was gonna say I really like this song, but I was gonna, maybe not necessarily true. At least the first listen, I'm not like, I like it, I enjoy it, it's definitely cool. But I can't say that like it's so far just like hitting me super hardcore, but there's definitely something different, and that's good. That was definitely different. If as far as being a song that's gonna like kind of capture my attention to this group, or you know, draw my attention to this group, and like and what provoke, or I guess generate, I guess that's probably the better word instead of provoke, but generate some interest in this new, you know, comeback and this new album and all that stuff. This is definitely a good song, I would say, for that, especially if you've kind of been sort of paying attention to the releases that they've put out since well, Hobgoblin, I guess you can say, was that last year? I think that was. No, it wasn't last year. It was two years ago. Fuck, I can't remember. But anyway, after that, like after Hobgoblin, CLC's been doing like, they've been trying like everything that they could imagine that's different from anything that they've ever done before. And that includes, of course, songs that they've released in the last 2 years. So I don't really know. You know, personally, I don't really look at a group that has such an inconsistent, you know, sound and image like that, where it's always changing in dramatic ways from release to release, as like an indication of a group that's like stable and successful and generating income for their company. Like that, to me, that screams a company or a group that's kind of failing a little bit, and the company's trying to find something that's going to work that they can just kind of build off of to continue, you know, to kind of boost and I guess continue to grow the group's, you know, popularity and income and all that stuff. So that's definitely something that's a little disconcerting as far as, you know, the way that I look at the strength and the success of CLC. Like there's plenty of groups out there that I've seen, you know, and I've been kind of following K-pop for a year or two, where they just continuously bounce around from concept to concept and sound to sound, and then they never really find any sort of success. And I kind of see that after CLC kind of just didn't start the strongest, that Cube is kind of like they don't really know what to do, and they don't really know what's gonna work, or what even is working for CLC, because maybe to their standards, like nothing really is working. It's just the thought that I've got. So I don't know. Like on one hand, I really like the fact that you know, every song the last couple years has been something very different. But on the flip side of that, it's potentially maybe not really the best sign when it comes to, you know, the health and the popularity of this group and where they stand in the whole, you know, K-pop industry. So that's something potentially to think about and to be, maybe, I don't even know, be worried about. But as long as they keep releasing music, then, you know, I guess they're doing well enough. So, you know, up to now, they haven't been a complete flop and their career hasn't died. So that, I guess, is something to kind of, you know, the upside to my whole thought process. But I'm going to do what I do, of course. I'm going to listen to this song some more and give you guys some more specific points that I want to talk about. But first, answer the question of the video that's coming up right now, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's get right into the review, and I do have to say that, to be completely honest, this song isn't really one of my favorite songs from CLC. You know, I wouldn't say like by far, it definitely is not one of my least favorite songs from them, because that would have been one of the more earlier songs that they released in their career. But that being said, there are some things that I like about it. I'm going to talk about at least one thing I don't like about it, and then another thing that I do like about it, like a lot. And we're just going to say that I kind of think that this song is rather average for CLC. I do like it. I do really enjoy listening to it. It's a really, I think, a pretty decent and really good song, or I should say a song that a lot of people are going to really enjoy, especially if they are fans of CLC. But I personally am not like freaking out like, oh my god, this is an amazing song. But that being said, I think that the general sentiment that, you know, CLC should get a little bit more attention and some more love from K-pop fans, that's definitely true, and that is definitely, I think, showcased in this music video. And this song too, because, you know, they got the attitude, they got the sexiness, they got, you know, pretty much whatever it is that a lot of, you know, K-pop fans could probably want, or would want, I guess, from a girl group that is doing this kind of, you know, concept and image and sound. And I mean, they really delivered in that regard. Like they really did kind of bring the, you know, the attitude and all that stuff with this song, which is something, a little teeny tiny thing that I actually, you know, did enjoy about this song. And I really did like it. You know, like I said, if this song reminds me of the song Woman from Boa, that's good, because Woman is a song that I personally really love. I think it's a really great song. And, you know, if this song is also kind of making me think a little bit of a song that I love, then that's pretty good. But let's get into something that I didn't like about it, that I've kind of, as I listen to it more and more, I've kind of come around to it a little bit more, but I'm still not completely sold on it. And that is really just the fact that, you know, the whole progression, I should say, after the first chorus, basically returning back to the sort of minimalist-ish sort of sound that you had in the intro of the song, kind of ruins the flow of the song for me. Like they built up the chorus and they kind of set up the chorus to be really, really fantastic and set a really awesome like energy level, and all of this like just the flow and the feel and stuff of the song was something really, 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 really good. It was giving me personally a lot of energy. Like I was pulling energy out of it, and then they finish up the chorus and then go back down to sort of, you know, the whole repetition thing that they were doing at the beginning of the song as part of the intro, which then they do then repeat after the second chorus to kind of lead into the outro of the song. But that sort of progression kind of sort of like, I don't know, put out the flames of the song, so to speak. You know, like the song was on fire, they were doing really well, they had, you know, the energy level was like up, and I was into it and I was super engaged with listening to the song. And then they transition into that part to start the second chorus, or the second verse I should say, and they kind of just killed all that momentum. I personally probably would have really enjoyed this song, and probably very well might have put this as one of my favorite songs from CLC if they kind of continued that momentum, you know. But you know, it's a stylistic choice that the producer or the writer of this song chose to go with, and it's not necessarily bad, because, you know, like I said, the more that I listened to it, the more that I really kind of, you know, got into it and started, you know, enjoying it. That being said, I do think that whole progression back to a sort of a feel and a vibe similar to the intro of the song, the second time around, after the second chorus comes in, it works a lot better in my opinion, and I really actually do enjoy that part of it, because that sort of plays into and leads into the whole, you know, breakdown bit, and then is it a dance break? I guess it would be called the dance break, because that's kind of what they do in the music video. But it's that chorus, and then that like return, that callback to the intro or whatever you want to call that, which then leads into a break, and then or like a little breakdown, and then the outro, which I really like that, because all of those elements are really kind of connected, and they'll sort of have a really similar vibe to them. And that's kind of a really different and interesting way to kind of close out the song. I like that aspect of it. That part really, really works really, really well. Just the return in the second verse, yes, is kind of, I don't know, not my favorite part. Although, like I said, the more I listen to it, the more I've kind of come around to it, because, you know, of course, the music track doesn't completely go back to the, you know, musicless sort of intro that you had at the beginning of the song. So it kind of carries a little bit of that flow from the chorus, but for me personally, not enough to like really, really love it. But that's just one thing I'm not really a big fan of. But it doesn't like make or break this song for me. It just kind of is something that, I don't know, just overall listening to this entire song just kind of, I kind of brings it down a little bit to the point that I'm not like, you know, super in love with it. But that being said, something that I am kind of in love with though really is that whole progression from the beginning of the verse. We're going to talk about the first verse to the first chorus, or I should say the intro through the first chorus. And I really do love that whole sort of progression to kind of set up and build up into the chorus. And of course they do that for the second, you know, verse into the chorus too. It's pretty much the same sort of, as far as like how it's all, you know, built upon each other. And I mean, really, to kind of highlight it, really, you gotta listen to the first verse to the first chorus, because of course you start out with the intro with basically no music track, just maybe, I think it was just, if I'm remembering correctly, which I don't know why I can't remember this right now, but you know, start off with the first chorus, super minimal like music track. If there is any music at all, then very well it might not be. See, because it's like that, you know, minimalist, if there is, that I can't remember, even though I just like listened to the song a bunch of times a minute ago. But you go from the intro and then you move into the second part, or the first part of the verse, which then adds, you know, a couple different elements to the music track and to the vocals. And then the second part of the verse kind of adds a little bit more, and then you got the pre-chorus, which then adds a little bit more, and then the chorus adds a little bit more to that, and you just kind of like ramp it up slowly into the chorus, which then delivers, you know, what they've got in the chorus. And I really like that sort of progression to it. It's really smooth. Everything feels really well connected. Like everything was actually sort of like, you know, every single part of the song was kind of made and written with the actual idea that it was all going to connect together, you know, because it wasn't like somebody wrote a chorus and then somebody else wrote a verse, and then they kind of, somebody at somewhere had to kind of figure out how to put the two together. they were, all of those parts kind of felt like they were written with the whole idea that they were all going to fit together really nicely, and I think that they do. It's kind of in contrast with something that I don't know necessarily if it's actually as frequent as I kind of feel it is right now, but I do feel that there are quite a few sort of progressions from, you know, the verse into the chorus of a song where the whole sort of transition into the chorus has more of like a drop to it, you know, where like they build up to some point that's higher than the chorus and then they kind of drop down into the chorus, or there's like a pause before the chorus comes in, or at least some sort of dramatic change between, you know, the verse or the pre-chorus into the chorus. And those aren't like smooth transitions. Those aren't like, you know, they just kind of built right into it and it just seamlessly just flowed right into the chorus. Those are pretty, you know, dramatic and drastic transitions into the chorus, and those are perfectly fine. I really enjoy those kinds of things too. I think a really pretty easy and very effective way to, you know, deliver the chorus with the like necessary impact to make it something that is, you know, attention grabbing and memorable. But, you know, whoever wrote this song specifically managed to actually, you know, do that without using such a technique, at least in a very obvious and dramatic fashion. Like it seemed to be a very smooth and very, you know, thought out sort of transition and build up into the chorus, which personally I really like that. And then another little teeny tiny thing that I do enjoy about this is I really like the whole melody of the chorus as well. Something about it that is like easily memorable, and I'm not going to say that it's super simple, but it just is something that is memorable. And, you know, the more that I listen to the song and the more that I listen to the song after now is just gonna like further ingrain itself in my mind. I personally really like it. I can't necessarily explain what it is I like about it. Maybe it's just the fact that, you know, the whole chorus is kind of punctuated with drawn out notes, or, you know, on words that will sustain and all that stuff. Maybe that's what it is, or something. I don't specifically know, but I really enjoy it. So overall, all in all, it's definitely a really solid release from CLC. I definitely do enjoy it. I do not hate it, and I'm not disappointed by it, but at the same time, it's not one of my, you know, it's not necessarily particularly close to being one of my top favorite songs from CLC. So that's it, guys. That's my video for today, or at least for this video. It's my time for this video, talking about No by CLC. So if you enjoyed this video, of course, let me know in the comments, of course, and I don't know, that's not really the way that I do my intro normally, but that's it for this video, guys. I want you guys to share your honest thoughts on this song down below. Of course, answer the question of the video, and just in general, let me know what you guys think about this song. Don't hold anything back. If you like this song, then let me know why you liked it. If you didn't like this song, then also let me know why you didn't like it, because that's the kind of community that we're trying to build here. If you want to join that community, of course, then subscribe to the channel, because hopefully I'm not working so much, so I've got more energy and time to make some videos more consistently than I have in the first month or so of the year. So that's it for this video, guys. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.